Okay, Algebra 2 students, this is a short video on solving radical equations. Alright, what we're going to do with this very first problem here, do some examples for you, and hopefully this will help you work on some problems. First step, whenever you're solving radical equations, you want to get everything on one side of the equation or the other. One side should have the radical only, and the other side should have the numbers, okay, if there's only one radical. If there's two radicals, you want to have one radical on each side if you can't combine them. So our first step here is going to be to add 7 to both sides. So we will have 8 times radical 10x equals 16. Then we'll divide both sides by 8. And we have square root of 10x equals 2. Now here's the part where we square both sides. To get rid of the radical, we have to square it, okay? This is a square root, so if we take this to the second power, we will get rid of that square root. So we will have 10x equals 4. And our last step is divide both sides by 10, and we get x equals, it's a 10 here, sorry, it's not working right there. There's a 10 right there. There we go. 2/5, okay? And then you're always going to want to plug it back in and check. So if we multiply 10 by 2/5, we would get 20 over 5, which is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 minus 7 is 9. Okay, so there are going to be times where you might plug a solution back in and it doesn't work. So always make sure you check your solution. All right. Now I want you to try this one. Okay, how'd you do? First step, add 7. You get 3 times the cube root of 16x equals 24. Then you're going to divide both sides by 3, and you get the cube root of 16x equals 8. Now did you notice that this is a cube root, not a square root? So you would have to actually raise this to the third power to undo the cube root, okay? Not the second power. So we would end up with 16x equals 8 cubed, happens to be 512. I had to do that on your calculator. And if you divide both sides by 16, you will get 32. So x equals 32. And if you plug it back in, 16 times 32 is a big number, I'm not sure what it is. Take the cube root, you multiply by 3, you subtract 7, you should get 17. Okay, now this one's a little bit different. I'm gonna work this one out with you. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to follow along with me. The first step we're gonna have here, we've already got my square root is on one side and everything else is on the other. Okay, so to undo the square root, I have to square both sides, which is not a problem. So I get x minus 6 equals, now you have to multiply this out. This is x minus 8 squared, so that's the same thing as x minus 8. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting, times x minus 8. Okay? So this is going to be x squared minus 16x plus 64. If we were to multiply this out. Okay, you can FOIL it if you need to. Now we have a quadratic, so we're going to have to get everything over to the right side. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So that's going to be x equals x squared minus 16x plus 70. Then we have to subtract x from both sides. 0 equals x squared minus 17x plus 70. Now we're to the point where we either have to use the quadratic formula or hopefully we can factor. I think we can factor this, so let's take a look at this and see what we can do. X Factors of 70, 7 and 10, are going to work beautifully. So they both have to be negative to get the positive 70, and if we do negative 7x, you get negative 10x, that gives us negative 17x. So x can equal a 7 or 10. Now remember how I said, remember how I said that we need to plug these back in to make sure that they work? So if I plug a 7 in here, I get 7 minus 6, which is 1. So let me do that. So 7 minus 6 is 1. So we end up getting square root of 1 is 1. When I plug 7 here, 7 minus 8 is negative 1. So 1 does not equal negative 1. So 7 doesn't work. Okay, that's called an extraneous solution. That one does not work. Let's see if 10 works. 10 minus 6 is 4. The square root of 4 has to equal whatever 10 minus 8 is, which is 2. Okay, so does 2 equal 2? Yes. So 10 works. Okay, so make sure you always check your solutions. All right, so if you need to, watch this video again, make sure you understand how to go about solving these equations. There's a couple challenging ones on your homework that I haven't talked about yet, and see what you can do with them, but most of them you should be able to do after looking at these 3 examples we've just done.